Hi, Arnie here, and today I'm going to show you how to use the camera pan and zoom using the 3 following concept examples. Okay, so for the first one, let's start off by bringing in a background. And we'll bring in the lab. As I like to do, I like to lock that in place first of all. And we're going to bring in a blackboard, which is up here with 3D objects. There we go, just press on it and it'll appear on the scene. There it is. Okay, let's make it just a little bit bigger so it fills up more of the screen. Okay, so now we're going to add some text, which I already have using the Cabin Sketch font. So let's just type some text here. And we'll just center that. Okay, good enough there. Okay, so now what we want to do is add an effect. We're going to add the Doodle Effect. So we come down here to the project settings and we're going to add a text effect and choose Doodle. And here we have a number of choices. So what we're going to choose here is one at the end using chalk. Great. Okay, we can make this effect longer or shorter depending on how long we want the person to write the effect. Let me just bring the font across here. So the shorter it is, obviously, the faster it writes. So we want to make this a little bit longer. Let's say we'll do something like that. Okay, and as you'll notice, there's a couple things here. So first of all, as it's writing, you can see that it's writing from the middle and then it's moving outwards. We want it to write as like a natural way, and the way we do that is by changing the rotation point. So right now the rotation point is in the center, and we want to move it to the top corner. Okay, so that way, when it writes from the top corner, and then everything just stays and it moves on to the end. Now the other thing is that this hand is quite large, so we want to change that. We're going to go to text settings by right-clicking, and we're going to change the size to around, let's say, 20. Great. Now as you can see, it's cut off here, but the camera will be zoomed in, so we're not going to have to worry about that at this point. Okay, let's just move this a little bit more centered again into the middle of the blackboard. There we go. Okay. Now let's add the character. He's not going to appear till later, so we can put him over here. And let's go to the characters, and we're going to grab the scientist, which is right here. Okay, we'll have him stand beside the blackboard here, and we're going to change him to, let's say, thinking first, and then we're going to add an action of pointing. Oops, well, let's change that to pointing. There we go. Okay, we're going to move that on just a little bit like that. Perfect. Okay, so now we can set up our camera work. So we're going to go to the camera icon at the top here. And as you can see, it starts off full screen. So this is the purple line. That's the camera with the nodes here. And we want the camera to start in the middle of the blackboard. So we're going to just reduce this like that. So now the camera is starting in the middle of the blackboard and you see nothing around it. And we're going to add an animation right here with the plus sign. And there's the camera animation. So where the scrub bar is before the camera, that's where it starts. And it's going to end over here. And we want this to be full screen when it ends, so we're going to use the expand camera to fill up the entire screen. So now the camera starts here and will expand out to here. Now depending on how fast we want that to happen, we can change that using the camera animation here. So we can make it very short, or we can have it take its own time like that. So let's just put that back a little bit shorter there. And it's going to start right when the writing ends. So let's have that appear right about there. So now what's going to happen is you'll see the writing, it'll expand, and you'll see the scientist. Okay, now when I actually play it, it'll show you exactly what the animation is going to look like. There we go, and that looks good. The next thing we want to do is add some sound effects. Now, let me just exit the camera here. Okay, so we don't see the lines in the node anymore. And go to Media, and we're going to add a sound effect. Now, I've already downloaded it here, writing, but you can find it under Media Library. Go to Audio and Sound Effects, and then you can search it if you like. So just type writing, and you can see it's right there, and you can download it here. And I'm just going to grab it and add it to the scene, and we want it to start at the beginning, and it'll end at a good place right here. Okay, and let's just see how that sounds. So let's go to the beginning here. Okay, that's not too bad. And now we're going to add a little bit of music. So we'll go to the beginning again. And again, I've already downloaded some music here, and I've used that from the Media Library, going to Audio again, and I used one of the logo idents. Okay, and I'm just going to add that here, and we'll shorten it, and I'm going to give it a fade out of 1 second. And now let's play it, see what happens. Okay, great. So for this next example, I'm going to bring in 4 videos, which I've already downloaded from the Media Library. And I looked up under Pexels Videos, and I brought in these 4 videos here. Now for this one here, we're going to have the videos play in only a quarter of the canvas. So right now this is full screen, so I'm going to make it half the size and change the scale to 50. So let's bring these on the screen here. This one's already reduced in size, and we'll change that one to 50. And one more here. Okay, now as you can see down here, the videos are of different lengths. So I'm going to put them in order of length here. This is the longest one, so that's going to be on the screen the longest. And then that will be the second, and we're going to move them over so that they're at the end of the video, they all appear together. Now the one thing you want to make sure of here is that your snapping is on, especially on the canvas, because we're going to snap this to the corners of the canvas. So let's take this first one here and just put it right to the top left corner. The second one, which is this one with the snow, we're going to put in that corner. This one will then go over here. And this last one will go over here. Now the reason I'm putting it in this order is we're going to pan the camera from starting from this one over to here, then down and across. Okay, so the first thing we're doing is just setting up the scene. So now I'm going to add some text. So you can add a box if you want, or just add text. So I'm going to delete that. So you can set this up any way you like. Right now I'm just going to put some text in the middle, and I'm going to change the font. Let's just choose this one here, and we'll make it bold. There we go. Okay, and I just added some text here like that, and put that in the middle just like that. Perfect. Okay, now this is going to come on soon after the first video is on and stay on the whole time. So let's say we're going to put this on somewhere around there, and I'm going to add a motion of just fading in. There we go. Okay, since we want the exact same font and style, I'm just going to duplicate this. Okay, and put the word snow here. There we go, that lines up perfectly there. And now since this is where this video comes on here, I just put just a second or so afterwards, so let's do that. Great. Okay, the next video comes on here, so we'll add another text there. Let's just duplicate that, and we can move that over. Okay. And finally, when this last one comes on, we'll have the word appear right about there. Okay. And let's duplicate. Oh, that one was reversed. So let's do that one there, and we're going to put this one right about there, let's say. And let's just move that on like that, just to make it a little bit more neat. Okay, and let's go to the last one here and duplicate this like that, and move it over. And this one said sites. So I just did a play on words here where everything starts with the letter S. Okay, and finally, after all the words have come on, let's now add that rectangle in the middle. And what I did here was I made the corners rounded. And I did that by going to the advanced mode here and change the radius, which we can do with the bar here. And you can see that it creates a curve around the edges. And I'm going to copy this fade, so I'm going to take this fade here and do a Control-C and do a Control-V so that it fades on. And I'm going to copy again. I'm going to duplicate the font here and just move it up. And then we can add something to that. We'll call this, put this up here. Let's change the color. And with this one I did a bit of a gradient. So I press gradient here. The first color I'll make, let's say, an orangey color, and then take that to, let's say, dark red there. That's good. And I just named it something. I called it Your Vacation Company.com. Okay, I'm going to put that just somewhere in the middle, right about there. And expand that. Okay, again, you get the idea here. So what's going to happen is these videos are going to come on with the text one by one, and once everything's up here, then we're going to zoom in on everything. So let's now start putting our cameras in motion. So the first thing is we're going to start with this video here, and let's turn the camera on, and we're going to move it up to just right up to about there, so we're just catching that video. Okay, and it's going to stay there till that comes on, and then we go down, you'll see that the next video is coming on here. Okay, now it's already on there, so we want the camera to move over when it's already on. So let's just move this back a bit, start, let's say, right about here, and now we're going to add a camera effect. So let's go to camera and do the plus sign, and there's the camera effect. So we're starting the camera effect here, and we're going to end it. Let's move it across over there. So now what's going to happen is we'll pan the camera over. Now you can see it's panning when it's white. We want it to end right where the video is coming on there. So let's go back up, and we'll just move that over to here. Okay. Now if we want to get this next camera the same length as this one, a good idea is to right-click on the camera and then do duplicate reverse. What that'll do is it'll reverse the camera back to its original position. But we can change that. So I'm going to move this camera over here. So again, the first camera will just pan over to this video. Okay, so let's move that right about that is where the video is coming on. So I'll just move that over just slightly. Oh, I'm sorry, this has to be where it starts. So let's have this come on here. There we go. So now the video's on when this is moving over. Perfect. Okay, let's go to the next video, which is right there. And we're going to, that's going to come on right there. So you can see the next video. And we're going to have the camera then start there. But now we want this to move down. So since we duplicated it, it goes across. All we have to do is change the final location of the camera. So now you'll see it'll start here, come across. We duplicated it, but we moved the end position to the down position. Okay, so I'm going to again duplicate, reverse, bring that over here. Go to where the next video just comes on, which is right there. So that's where the camera is going to move. But since we did a reverse, it's going to go up. So we can just take the end point and move it over here. So now it'll slide over here. And at this point, we want the camera to take up the entire screen. So let's do a reverse again. Okay, once it gets to there. And now we're going to have it expand over the entire screen. So once it's at the end of this animation, we'll just press the expand camera and it'll take up the whole screen. So it'll come over here, across, and expand. And as it's expanding, the yourvacation.com will come on. Okay, let's just add a little bit of music to that. Again, I got that from the media library. So I'm just going to add that in here on top. Okay, and we can have that end about there, and it starts right there. Okay, let's just see how that all looks. Now, you notice what we did here was this video has some sound to it. I don't want the sound to play, so we can go over to the side here and we can shut off the sounds of these videos by just clicking the speaker icon. So now there'll be no sounds from any of these videos. And again, give a nice panning effect. Okay, great. Okay, for this last example, I'm going to show you a combination of panning and zooming. So I have a picture of a house here, and for this example, the background should be a very high resolution. So the first thing we're going to do is, again, set up the scene. So I'm going to add a rectangle here, and we'll expand it out, and let's put some text. And we're going to make it black. Okay, now I have it bolded here, but we can take that bold out, use a different text. Let's use this text here, and that's good. Okay. Okay, we're going to... So this is an example of perhaps what you might want to do for a new house listing for a real estate agent. Let's grab that and we'll put that right up in the corner here. You can make that just a little bit bigger. Okay, so we're going to put some information around different areas and then pan and zoom into it and then zoom out at the end. So let's just copy this. We're going to duplicate it. So we have a new version right here and move that away. Okay, now let's put some information. Let's say it is a 4-bedroom. Okay, and maybe move that a little bit smaller right over here. duplicate that again. And again, this is just one idea of what you can do. Okay, and that's that one here. And we'll duplicate that one more time. When I'm grabbing these, I'm using the Control button to grab the two items together. Now, of course, we can make these as big and small as we want. We'll make this one just a tiny bit bigger, maybe like that. Okay, and finally, let's just grab that, and we're going to duplicate that one more time. And this will be the final one with the price on it. And we're going to change the color of this. Let's say to a nice blue color. There we go. And we'll just expand that one a little bit because that one will be more prominent. Good. And let's have an entry on for this one. So let's do, let's say a zoom, and we'll do maybe a backscale down here like that. Okay. And we're going to grab that and do Control C and go to the rectangle, Control V. So now when they come on, they'll pop in like that. Now these won't come on till later, so I'm going to grab this again here, these two, and we're going to move them in like that just to get them out of the way for now. Okay, so now let's set up our actual camera motion. So the first thing we're going to do is press the camera here, and we're going to start off with our camera around the new listing text here. Okay, and we're going to keep it there for a little bit. Now we're going to add an animation, and we'll do it relatively quickly. Okay, so we'll have it shorten. We'll shorten this, and we'll end it over here. So it's just going to pan over here. Okay, have it on for a few more seconds. Again, we're going to right-click and duplicate reverse. Okay, to keep it the same length of time, but we're going to have it end over here. Well, let's say maybe open that up just slightly. Okay, again, duplicate reverse. And it doesn't have to, it can be a different timing, so let's put this one over here and have it now move over to the pool area here and maybe expand that just a little bit more. Like that. Okay, and then once it's there, we're going to duplicate reverse again, and let's put a little bit closer together, and we'll have it expand like that. So what's going to happen now is it's going to zigzag around and come over to the bathroom, enlarge a little bit, the pool, and then enlarge again. And as it's enlarging, that's when we'll have this pop on. So let's just move this over a little bit here like that. Give it a nice dynamic effect. Okay, so that's what the camera is going to do. There we go, looks good. Let's add some music here, which again I got from the media library. I'm going to add that in here, and we'll just tone that down a bit and fade it out at the end with a second. Okay, and now let's play it and see what happens. And that's it. Well, thank you for watching, and I hope you learned something. And happy creating!